Hi everyone, welcome back to Lulumath. This video is on transformations of quadratic graphs, and this is the second of 3 videos. So if you want to get a full understanding of these types of transformations, make sure you watch the first one and the one that comes after this one. So in this video, we want to know, what does the k value do in the general form y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k? And just a reminder that this is in vertex form. So we're going to use graphing technology to see what changing the k value does to the parent graph of a parabola y equals x squared. And just a quick note that this is x squared plus, there's nothing added on. So in the parent graph, the k value is equal to 0. So we will use Desmos to graph out y equals x squared, the parent graph, as well as y equals x squared plus 3, and see the relationship between our two graphs. So if you see, our parent graph is the one that's in black, y equals x squared. And when I turn on y equals x squared plus 3, and although the graph appears to be narrower, what really ended up happening, if I were to scroll up, you can now see it doesn't so much look narrower, it just has moved up. So if you look right here, if I do x squared plus 1, the black graph has gone up a little bit. And then if I add another 1 to it, it goes up again. And if I add another 1 to it, it's in the exact same spot because these are the same graphs, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So if you notice, by adding 3, all it's done to my graph is it's moved it up by 3 units. So let's see what happens to y equals x squared minus 5. So again, we have our parent graph of y equals x squared. I've turned off x squared plus 3, and now I have x squared minus 5. And if you see here, my graph has just shifted down by 5 units. So I'm going to take my parent graph and I'm going to keep shifting it down. So I shift it down by 1 unit, and then another 1, and then another 1, and another 1. And a final 1 right here. So it's been shifted down by 5 units, which brings us directly onto this graph that we have here. Now I'm going to turn on the first graph that we had, that we looked at, this x squared plus 3. So again, if you notice, the graph is either moving up or the graph is moving down. So for this next one, y equals x squared plus 7, we always try to take what we've learned and make conjectures based on what we've learned. So I want you to take a moment and make a guess. What's going to happen if it's y equals x squared plus 7? And then come back to me to verify using Desmos. All right, now if you see here, our parent graph is y equals x squared, and now I will turn on y equals x squared plus 7. And if you look, our graph has just been shifted up 7 units. Is that what you guessed? Was your conjecture right? So let's just keep adding 1 to our parent graph and see how many times I need to add 1 until it matches up with this y equals x squared plus 7. And you guessed it, we had to do it 7 times. So now we have the parent graph y equals x squared with the other 3 graphs that we've looked at so far, and sometimes it's shifted up and sometimes it's shifted down. So what's going to happen with y equals x squared minus 1? Make a guess and then come back to me, see if you're going to be right. So here we've got it. Were you right? Did you say that it was going to shift down by 1 unit? Because that's absolutely correct. So we will say here that y equals x squared minus 1 is shifted down by 1 unit. So here we have all of our graphs together here, and they match the colors. But let's just verify. So this black graph that we have here is our parent graph. It's y equals x squared. For this blue graph that we have here, we can see that the graph was shifted up by 1, 2, 3 units. So we can say this is y equals x squared plus 3. For our green graph that we have here, we can see that it was shifted up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. So we can say this is y equals x squared plus 7. For this orange graph that we see here, we can say that it was shifted down by 1 unit. So we can say this is y equals x squared minus 1. And then lastly, for our red graph, we can see that this was shifted down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So we can say this graph is y equals x squared minus 5. I just want to make a quick note about the language that we're using. So we're saying shifted up or shifted down which is totally fine language to use, but we usually generally say that it is a vertical translation. So it's a vertical translation up or a vertical translation down. So let's determine the k value in each one of these. So just a reminder, in the parent graph, the k value is equal to 0 because nothing is being added on. Here, we have 3 being added on, so the k value is equal to positive 3. In this one, there's an extra negative 5, so the k value is equal to negative 5. In this one, there's an extra 7, so the k value is positive 7. And in this one, there's an extra negative 1, so the k value is negative 1. So it seems that when k is greater than 0, or in other words, it is positive, for example, right here where it's positive 3 and positive 7, it is vertically translated up, or it's shifted up. And it seems when k is less than 0, or in other words, when k is negative, like we have here where it's a negative 5 and a negative 1, it seems to be shifted down. Or we can say it's a vertical translation down. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to watch the third one to get a full understanding of transformations of quadratic relations or functions. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below or at lulumath.com, where you can also find blank or completed notes for this video. If you found this video to be useful, please don't forget to subscribe and share with others. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.